Hey everyone, it's Justin. Thank you for watching and or listening to the podcast. Welcome to my house. It's time for another ServiceNow Store highlights episode, SSH 11172023. That's November 17th, 2023. And we're back to normal levels again. Thank goodness, because it took me a long time to do the last episode. We have 35 new or updated applications for this week's episode. Let's jump in. Actually, let's see the breakdown. I forgot to do that on the last episode, and I almost did it again on this episode. So let's sort by there. And now, here we go. We've got on this episode 9 highlights, 14 minor updates, most of that belonging to one particular application. You'll see here in a minute. 9 new releases and 3 release notes fails. Let's just jump right to it and take a look at that. We're going to go group this list here by category, and we'll jump in. We'll wait for the highlights. Let's do the minor updates first. You can see here I've got a bunch of stuff from Tenon Software Inc. or Incorporated. Basically, I'll read them off real quick. Form component, header component, Kanban component, list filter component, menu component, panel component, record details component, side modal component, and sprint planning component. Oh, wait, more stats bar component and tabs component. So basically, Tenon they have an application in all of their different UI builder components. They've broken out into separate applications. So there's one main one, we'll get to it in the highlights, but all of the other stuff that came with it, they just had like fall release in their release notes, and they just got versioned along with the main app, I think. So minor updates on those, nothing really to see there. You're going to have to put those in if you are a Tenon customer. But we also have Cyber Int app was a minor update. And let's see, who else did I skip? Service Graph Connector for Avantra was another minor update. So there's 14 of them, but really it's 3 of them, basically 2 or 3 different vendors. We also had 3 release notes fails. You can see them here: Clear Sky IGA, NetBrain Automation Integration, and Uptime. All were release notes fails. If you haven't seen or heard the show before, a release notes fail is that there are no release notes or same or repeated release notes, so that I can't tell you what actually got updated or what's new with those applications. Let's take a look at our new releases. You're going to see it is also the Tenon show in here. In order to support that application that we're going to see in the highlights, they also released an activity stream component, an app shell, calendar component, illustration component, a modal component, navigation header component, notifications component, and search component. My friends, I think Tenon Software kept the ServiceNow Store team really busy with that last update, which leaves us with one highlight or one new release that I'm actually going to click on. That's OpenFin. OpenFin is a new release in the ServiceNow Store from OpenFin Inc. It's an integrated desktop experience. Let's take a look at their key features. It enables apps running in OpenFin to connect to a ServiceNow instance using OpenFin's ServiceNow Integration API, streamline the authorization process, and simplify token management for seamless connection to customer ServiceNow instances, automate workflows and share data between different apps and ServiceNow views with OpenFin's interoperability capabilities, use OpenFin window layout features to create personalized workspaces that combine ServiceNow with your in-house apps. Use OpenFin Workspace to easily access and search for ServiceNow data across an end user's desktop. Let's take a look at their screenshots. They've got a few of them here. There, it looks like a desktop with some notifications showing a ServiceNow CSM FSM configurable workspace in the background. Next screenshot is searching ServiceNow cases via the OpenFin home. Here is 2 desktop layouts with OpenFin browser showing, it looks like a user, a contact on a case, and also the incident self-service view. And let's see what's next. I've got another view of that OpenFin browser. I've got participants and investments and models, and then the ServiceNow contact showing in the right-hand side. I've got Salesforce on this side, ServiceNow on the right-hand side, and this screenshot. So basically showing 2 apps together in that particular app or browser. And this was interoperability in ServiceNow, showing searching results, searching incidents, contacts, and consumers. And then a research result for John McHugh. And it looks like an assessment, ATF assessor. I don't know what that is. And there's a video. I'm not going to click on the video because you are watching a video, but that is what's new and basically our only new release for this episode of ServiceNow Store Highlights, which brings us to the highlights. Let's jump into the highlights. First up on the list is B+S Connects, a seamless and powerful integration of WebEx or Cisco Contact Center for ServiceNow. updated to version 5.1.1, and in this version, they're naming it Buffalo. I thought that was interesting when I was getting ready for the episode. I'll go ahead and show this one here. They had a previous version of Albatross, and this version is called Buffalo, so they're got a little naming convention there. But in this one, there's general support for Cisco WebEx Contact Center, some bug fixes, and for the Finesse Edition only, support for AWA, or I think that's Advanced Work Assignment on more ServiceNow workspaces, all with an inbox including the Polaris UI. Next up on our release of highlights is going to be the button component of Tenon. I promise you, I wouldn't have included a component like I didn't include the rest unless there was a reason. Let's click on the version number 1.0.1 and show you why. It is their fall release, but they said it's got a create button with a drop down of options, create task, project, and campaign, and a variety of styles added for add record, cancel, and secondary create. So that's why I included that one to give some context, and we'll actually go ahead and take care of the other one here. This is the big one from Tenon. Tenon Marketing Work Management, updated to version 3, which I think brought all that other stuff you saw in the minor updates and the new releases. And they have in this update, or this version, goals, calendar, activities, and notifications. On the goals side, keep an eye on achieving company goals because campaigns, projects, and tasks can now be associated with goals. For the calendar view, get an overview and a hold of the upcoming day, week, or month. On the activity stream, you're able to see the history of a task, so you're able to stay up to date. And for notifications, stay on top of your work with notifications so you're alerted on what your team is working on and if they need your help. Let's see, that's it for that one from Tenon, who's dominating our show today. Next up is going to be Checklist Pro. Checklist Pro was updated to version 2.1.2, and in this version they've added some new features. Created 6 new database views for commonly occurring reporting needs with checklist item, checklist assignments, SC request items, SC task, change request, and incidents. They've added a new built-in validation function within X months for date field validations, added support for journal field types, and allow for associated configuration checklist item support within checklist assignment records or CLAs. And there was a bug fix, corrected the edit condition governance functionality for shared checklist items. That's what's new from Checklist Pro. Next up is Digital.ai release integration. They were updated to version 1.2.221. I can't click on the version here, but if we scroll down here on the left hand side, we'll see in version 1.20 they have adjusted core features for easier extension, added possible support for agile development, added automatic release template retrieval, added scope from section for change requests, added scope form section for change requests, made standard reports available, added default settings, and split roles between admin and user. Next up on the highlights, JFrog. I love this. I'll go ahead and click on it. They've updated their app name to let everybody know that it's being deprecated. JFrog will be deprecated on Monday, January 1st, 2024. I don't have any version history or notes to click on, but it felt important enough to include this. If you're using the JFrog spoke for CVE and license violations, it's going away. Find something else. Find a replacement. This is being deprecated on Monday, January 1st, 2024. Next up on our list, TalkDesk was updated to version 4.1.0, and in this version, you can now pop single UI component when an incoming call rings in TalkDesk. The single UI or user interface component pops automatically in ServiceNow. For the ServiceNow Vancouver release, TalkDesk ServiceNow connector is already certified and compatible with the latest ServiceNow Vancouver release. For additional information, visit their documentation on TalkDesk ServiceNow connector. Next up, Tanium Integration Core was updated to version number 1.4.2 or 1.4.2, sorry about that. And it's a big paragraph, which I love the details. I'm just going to try to summarize that here. They added require available results argument to the query async method of gate query util, and then they have an explanation below that. Some sensors can take longer to respond than others depending on a number of factors, such as the configuration of the sensor parameters. So they laid the groundwork for the next version of the Tanium CI introspect application, including significantly improving performance and eliminating the majority of potential timeouts, plus some minor bug fixes and improvements. So if you're using the Tanium Integration Core app, you might want to take a look at it. They're calling it a patch release, but it looks like some good stuff is in there. And that brings us to our last one here, Vulnerability Response Integration with Armis. Updated to version 1.1.0. And then 1.1.0 maps AVM risk score, I think that's application vulnerability management, to source detection score on a detection. This rolls up to the source risk score on the vulnerable item, which can be used to reprioritize vulnerable item assignments. Populates solution summary on vulnerable item detections from ARMIS. Refactors token authentication to pass the API secret through multi-part/forum data, and certified for compatibility with the Vancouver release of ServiceNow. And that, my friends, is our entire episode. I am super appreciative because the last one was a big one. If you haven't caught that episode already, go ahead and take a look. You want to grab the bonus episode for SSH version 11102023. That's November 10th, 2023. There were 529 applications new or updated in the ServiceNow store. ServiceNow did their November 2023 Q4 release. So go check it out. Go look at the blog post. This episode is going to also have a blog post, so you can go click on each application that may be of interest to you. Let's take a look at what we just reviewed. 9 new releases, 9 highlights, 14 minor updates, and 3 release notes fails. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like, please subscribe, or share it with somebody who you think might be interested in what got updated in the ServiceNow store. And until next time, don't forget to always be learning.